Hello, I'm Sue Oliver. I'm the weight loss magician, and today what I'd like to talk to you about is why do some people overeat, some people smoke, some people drink excessively, and some people go to drugs? That's an interesting question, and it's a question that needs to be looked at to help you understand what's going on with you if you are in one of those categories. So what I want to talk to you about today is something that I created here that I'm going to read from. So basically, when we're born, we have no beliefs about ourselves. Our basic needs are for food and love and to feel the comfort of knowing that our needs are being looked after. But then from the age of being born up to about 6 or 7, it's when we have lots of experiences. It's when we're doing a massive amount of learning. And all of that learning is going straight into our subconscious. There's no filter on it, so it's all seen as truth, that we're creating beliefs about it, but there's no filter to know whether it's actually true or not. So we can have aspects of our who we think we are and what we're capable of being defined in those moments when possibly we're believing something that's probably not true. If I give you an example, I remember when I was teaching, I had a little boy in my class who was in kindergarten, and we were doing a handwriting lesson, and he had that pencil in his hand and he was just scrawling on the page, and I got down to his eye level and I said, "What's wrong?" And he said, "My mum called me stupid." And he came to school upset about that, but what upset me more was that he took that belief on as a little kid because he had no filter to know if that was true or not. And unless he got some help later on, he may well have kept on believing that. So I want you to know that you have a lot of beliefs forming up until the age of 6 or 7, where then from then on you actually have critical thinking, you can analyze things, you have judgment, so you can be more discerning about what you take on. But those beliefs are in your subconscious. And the next thing that can happen, and can happen even up till that age, is that you have experiences that are traumatic or overwhelming. And when that happens, what your body does is it sets up a system of sending messages to your body to be in fight, to be in flight, to be in freeze, or to respond in defensive rage. And when your body's doing that, what you need is something to soothe yourself. And that's when these habits of starting to overeat, to drink, to smoke, to seek drugs will be formed, because you're trying to soothe yourself for something that you really don't know where it's coming from, why you're not feeling comfortable. And it's all subconscious. And so you're not even aware of why this behavior is happening. So what I want you to think about is, I'm really aiming this at people who overeat. And most of the time you'll be overeating and not even conscious of why you're overeating. But what you're doing is responding to an urge. And that urge is coming from the fact that you have inside of you some unconscious stuff going on, and food has been the way that you've used to soothe yourself. So you can start to actually get control over those urges by noticing them. Notice the urges and don't respond in the normal way. So don't go and get the food. Just notice them. And just you doing that will be enough to start interrupting the pattern that you've been stuck in. So it will help break the pattern, but also to rewire your brain. So as your brain's getting rewired, the pattern's being broken, that catch-22 of this urge coming, you responding with your behavior that you've always had to reach for the food, then that's going to be broken and your brain is going to be rewired, and so you'll begin to be able to start to eat when you're hungry, not just because you're having urges that are pushing you to do something which you haven't been consciously aware of that you're doing. Another tip that I'd give you is that if you started to write down the food that you're eating, that's another pattern interrupt. So if you start to create a journal of what am I eating today, and as you go to eat something, write it in your journal, and just that act will be enough to interrupt that pattern so that you have more conscious awareness of what you're putting into your mouth. So if you found that helpful, I also run a weight loss program, which is different from other weight loss programs. It's not you being on a diet, it's actually getting to all the reasons for why you've chosen to use food to soothe you. And we unlock all of those things so that actually you have no need to be on a diet. You can eat whatever you want because you're eating because you're hungry, not because you're stuck in an old pattern. Okay, thank you. Bye.